What's up, world? It's your boy AP. This is AP's NBA Daily Picks. In this video, I'll be breaking down the Atlanta Hawks versus the Washington Wizards. They're giving the Wizards plus 10.5 points, and the over and under is 236.5. For the injury report, we got Luke Kennard, a game time decision. And of course, Trae Young out. We got for the Wizards, we got Marvin Bagley, game time decision. Keyshawn George is a game time decision. When I look at the expected return date, it's saying November 25th for Marvin Bagley and Keyshawn George, and also for Luke Kennard. So I'm analyzing this game just like those players are playing. The Wizards haven't won a home game yet. They're 0-6. The Hawks are 8-3 on the road, so they played really well away from the crib. Also, I'm gonna dig deeper into this analyzation right here. We have some game notes. Okay, so let's go over the team's strengths and weaknesses. Like I said, the Hawks, they're 11-7, and they're designed around a versatile, highly athletic core. So their strengths are offense. They're ranked second in assists and first in assist percentage. That lets me know that the ball they got a good offensive flow, good ball movement, good rhythm, and the offense is led by Jalen Johnson. He's averaging 7 assists per game. They got a pretty okay defense. They're ranked 10th in defense and 5th in steals. They rely on heavy pressure defense, forcing turnovers with their long limb players like Johnson, Daniels, and Okongwu. So we all know that Dyson Daniels is known as a great defender. I take a closer look into that. You know, I see he does a lot of holding and grabbing and fouling. He makes it tough for the players. I think he's going to make it tough on C.J. McCollum, but C.J. McCollum is a veteran. He knows how to handle players like Dyson Daniels, and also they were on the same team for a little while, so I think C.J. McCollum will be prepared for this game. Just depends on how he feel that day, if he want to play ball or not, you know what I'm saying? And this is just my pregame analysis, just my advice for people that's really serious about this thing right here. In my opinion, the best way to do it is live betting. Watch the game live. You can actually get to see what's going on. Like, for example, when I analyzed the game between the Kings and the Minnesota Timberwolves from last night, I mean, the Kings blew them out before. I want to say by 20, 30 points, something like that. And then last night, the Kings take them into overtime. When I seen the game was tied up, I instantly hit Kings on the money line. I caught them earlier, like Kings plus 10.5, when I seen the game, you know, them getting some momentum. And then I think it was about maybe 1 minute, 30 seconds left, something like that. The game got tied, and I said, forget it. I already knew I was going to win the plus 10.5 that I got. And I just smashed them on the money line. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, they came back and won. Now, if you would have told me that before the game, I would have said, man, not from the data that I analyzed, you know what I'm saying? Because even in this game right here, going back to this game, I just want to give y'all some advice on live betting. I think live betting is the way to go. I have a higher hit rate betting live. That's that. But we're going back to the Hawks versus the Wizards here. I went to the weaknesses. So the weaknesses that I see for the Hawks is their rebounding. They're ranked 27th in offensive rebounds and overall rebounding volume. Their defense rebound is average, creating a possession gap vulnerability. So that's a weakness for the Hawks. I mean, you get these teams these large point spreads, and they got weaknesses too. The Hawks got weaknesses too. If I look back at the last game the Hawks played, they played New Orleans in New Orleans, and they covered the. I want to say I think they covered the spread against New Orleans. They won by 17, but then they go play the Hornets, and they didn't cover the spread. Only won by 3 points. So thinking in the point of this season for the Hawks, they just looking to get the win. I'm not sure how much they're looking to blow a team out. But with the Wizards, if you look back at their last 5 games, they then lost by 9. They lost by 1 point against the Bulls in Chicago. They lost by 10 points against Toronto. They lost by 11 points against the Timberwolves. They lost by 23 points against the Nets. And they lost by 23 points against the Rockets also. So if I want to compare it, say, look what they did to, let's see, like, defensive ratings. A team with a defensive rating kind of probably close to the Hawks will probably be the Timberwolves. And they got them. They beat them by 11. So I'll roll with the Hawks. I'll roll with the Hawks on this point spread. Minus 10.5. If the game get to going where the Wizards they come out strong in the first quarter, and that point spread drop to like a minus 3.5, minus 4.5 or something for the Hawks, definitely would smash that. But I'll just go ahead and say, man, yeah, Hawks minus 10.5. On the Wizards, on the other hand, we go over their strengths and weaknesses. Their offense, they're ranked 28th in offensive rating and 29th in turnovers. Their ball movement is poor. They're 20th in assists, 23rd in assist percentage, resulting in low efficiency scoring. Their defense, they're ranked dead last in defensive rating. They allow the most points per possession in the NBA, confirming they are structurally incapable of stopping opponents. They also rank 28th in steals. So they're not forcing turnovers. They can't stop anybody from scoring. And pace. That's one of their strengths is the pace. They're ranked 3rd in pace, but that kind of a double-edged sword. Because when they push the tempo relentlessly, it makes them it makes their defensive rating even poorer because they're rushing down the court, not scoring the ball, turning the ball over, not making field goals. Teams rebounding, running on them, scoring on them because they can't stop people from scoring. So they probably need to imply the strategy of when they get up, they probably need to slow the ball down a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But I look at the Wizards kind of like a developmental team. They get young talent over there, develop them. If you notice, the players that lead the Wizards, they go on to other teams and kind of make that team a little bit better once they get developed. You know what I'm saying? Like, just for example, like Daniel Gafford, when he went to the Mavs, he made them a little bit better when they had Luka and Daniel Gafford. You know what I'm saying? Like, he increased them. So I think if I'm looking at the NBA as a corporate business, I think they use certain teams like the Wizards to develop younger talent. Like Keyshawn George, he's going to be an amazing talent. When he leaves Washington, whatever team he goes to, I would like to see him go to a team like OKC or somewhere like that. You'll really see him shine. Even Sarr. I would like to see Sarr go to a team like, maybe like a New York or maybe like the Denver Nuggets, a team like that. And you'll see him really, really excel when you get him around a winning culture. You know what I'm saying? But the Wizards team is just there to develop these players. They know they can't even get they can't. They'll be lucky to get 20 wins this season. They haven't even got a home court win yet. But that's what lets me know. Like, and one other thing with this game, I know I'm rambling off. The Hawks have the Cavs on Friday. So this might be a look-ahead spot for them. So if you're liking the Wizards to cover, that point spread is very low. So if you're liking the Wizards to cover, I wouldn't be mad at you, but I just can't depend on a team that's ranked dead last in almost every category, every rating, against a Hawks team that actually plays better on the road. So I just want to dive into the coaching strategies right quick. Hawks coach Quinn Snyder generally favors a tight 8-man rotation. The success of the strategy relies heavily on core players, healthy, particularly Jalen Johnson, whose help is viewed as the key to this team's success. And the scheduling context, I just went over it. The Hawks are playing a third game in 4 nights. While they had a day of rest, this is a high volume stretch. The Hawks are now playing the first game of a potential road home 3-4 sequence. The high leverage home game against Cleveland on Friday serves as a statistical strong look ahead spot, increasing the incentive for Snyder to limit the minutes of stars if the game becomes a blowout. So even though the Hawks are playing against this poor Wizards team where they should ball out and get over every prop line, they probably got to get those stat lines in 3 quarters. So in this spot right here, I'm not interested in any Hawks players, player props, because it could be a blowout. Jalen Johnson could be sitting at 8 assists in the 3rd quarter, and you don't see him ever again. So, and then you can't take, you really got to be risky on taking the under against them, because the Wizards are so sad. Some of these players can probably get their player props in 2 quarters, especially the points. Somebody like a Kongu go out there and hit 5 threes before the for the halftime's over with. He got his points prop. So his points prop is 13.5. Just some data for the ATS trend for the overlook factor. Teams favored by a large margin against extremely bad teams often fail to cover the spread due to minute management and lack of intensity. The precise overlook factor that I identified. So I identified the overlook factor in this game. This trend increases risk of Atlanta under the spread scenario, which usually correlated with underperformance for the team starters. So you got a double whammy for the Atlanta Hawks players. They could be overlooking this game and going to their props also. So for the Hawks players, I'm good. Only one that I'm interested in is a Kongu over his points, because he's the type of archetype player that does well and gets points against the Wizards team, because they're kind of a weak interior defensive team. But on the flip side, when I did my research on seeing what archetype of players were successful against the Hawks, this is what I seen. Lauri Markkanen got 40 points against the Hawks. Michael Porter Jr. got 32 points against the Hawks. A player that I can see kind of similar to that, a little bit similar to that, is Alexander Sarr. Sarr is the Wizards season leading in points. He's averaging 18.1 points per game. The line is right at his average. And he benefits from the same versatile forward role as Markkanen does, and Porter. And he has high usage. His usage rate is 26.6%. And he's decent from the field. He's shooting 50.7% from the field. I think if I'm the Wizards coach, I want to use Sarr to exploit the Hawks where they're weak at. We already know they got an awesome perimeter. Nicole Alexander, he's a little bit undersized, but Dyson Daniels can handle his business out there. Jalen Johnson can also. So you got to beat them inside the paint. And also, elite guards with playmaking and scoring that can do some playmaking and scoring. So Donovan Mitchell hit him for 37. Cade Cunningham hit him for 25. I think CJ McCullough can get over his prop. His prop is like 1 point over his average. So that's letting me know right there that even a sportsbook think he can get his prop, because he's averaging 16.5 points per game. McCullum's usage is high, but his field goal efficiency is low. So he's not shooting the ball from the field that well. But he may be forced to hunt shots, which may lead to a high volume but low efficiency, but he still get over that mark. So I'm leaning towards CJ McCollum. I'm just trying to find an archetype player that does well against this style of defense that the Hawks play. For unders, I'm still leaning towards Jalen Johnson unders. I mean, he's averaging 7 assists a game. His assist prop is at 8.5. He got to get that in 3 quarters. Can he do it? Yes. But I ain't scared. I'm taking him under the 8.5 assists. I would like to also take his rebounds under, but the Wizards, I can't trust that. Another one, Kristaps Porzingis. I'm not scared to take his under the rebounds. He's already a game time decision. He's probably going to be limited with his minutes. I mean, they're not going to want to extend him against the Wizards team. They're not. You know what I'm saying? Kristaps Porzingis under his rebounds. I do like I said, CJ McCollum points, Sarr points. And since the Wizards are such a not the Wizards, the Hawks, their weakness is rebounding. I like Sarr to get over his rebounds. I like Keyshawn George to get over his rebounds. And I like Keyshawn George to get over his assists. So, yes, I do see the Hawks covering the spread against this team, but it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. And just because they're at the look-ahead spot, I'm not putting my money on the Hawks even though it's against the Wizards, this is probably a lock in a lot of handicappers' eyes. But for me, I might think they're overlooking it because they got to deal with them Cavs on Friday. And Snyder going to want to send a message out to the Cavs. The Wizards, they can go out there and beat them easily by 4, 5, 6 points and be comfortable and cool with that. These coaches and these teams, they're not worried about the point spread. Some of them not. The ones that put the ticket in is, but the majority of them not. They just want to go out there and get the win. They want to win comfortably. At the same time, if they win by 20 or they win by 10, they don't care about our parlay. They don't care about your point spread, your ticket. They don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? They already got the big bucks. They just want to get the W. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I see it. Sarr points, CJ McCollum points, Jalen Johnson under assists, Porzingis under his rebounds. I like Keyshawn George assists and Keyshawn George rebounds in this game because the Hawks give up a lot of offensive rebounds. And when I did my research, Sarr and Keyshawn George, they average the most offensive rebounds on the team. That's letting me know that they crashing the glass. They're being aggressive. Will they do it in this game? I don't know. I'm just going off of data what I analyze. You dig? Thank y'all for tuning in. Health, wealth, and love to all. You already know what time it is. It's bag season.